The forest path stretched before them, dimly lit by the faint glow of a setting sun. Clouds, dark and heavy, gathered above, swallowing the last hints of daylight. The air smelled of rain and soil, thick with tension. A cold breeze whispered between the trees, making the leaves tremble as if nature itself was holding its breath. Kai looked up at the sky, his wide brown eyes reflecting the flicker of lightning. His messy hair was already tousled by the wind, his torch sputtering against the sudden gusts. "Wow, a storm is coming," he exclaimed, his voice a mix of awe and unease. Beside him, Luna stood calm and firm, her silver hair falling over her shoulders, her purple cloak billowing in the wind. She folded her arms, her face stern, her tone steady. "We need to find shelter." She was not one to panic. Her words were a command, not a suggestion. At their feet, Milo, the little orange fox, growled softly. His tail stood stiff, ears pricked forward. He crouched low, sniffing the ground, alert to every sound. His instincts told him the storm was no ordinary one. It was a force they couldn't challenge. The rumble of thunder grew louder, rolling through the forest like a beast awakening. Kai flinched slightly, though he tried to hide it with a forced grin. He tightened his grip on the torch, stepping closer to Luna as if her calm presence could steady his nerves. The group hesitated only for a moment, then pressed forward. The dirt path turned slippery as the first drops of rain fell, dotting the ground with dark stains. The forest loomed darker with every step, the wind moaning through the branches. Kai whispered under his breath, "Maybe it'll just pass." But another flash of lightning cut the sky, followed instantly by a deafening crack of thunder. He jumped back, nearly dropping the torch. Luna gave him a sharp glance. "Stay focused," she ordered. Milo barked suddenly, darting ahead. His paws splashed in the growing puddles as he ran. He turned back once, barking again, as if telling them to hurry. The fox's instincts were often right. With rain now beginning to pour, the team had no choice. They followed Milo deeper into the shadows of the forest, their footsteps echoing against the storm. And somewhere in the distance, hidden in the darkness, something awaited them. The storm intensified, sheets of rain pouring down from the heavens. The group stumbled forward, clothes drenched, boots sinking into mud. Just when the forest seemed endless, a shape appeared through the curtain of rain and old. Crooked cabin standing alone in a clearing. Its wooden flanks were worn and dark, the roof sagging, the windows shattered. The door hung ajar, creaking each time the wind pushed against it. It looked less like a refuge and more like a trap waiting to be sprung. Iris was the first to speak, her green ponytail plastered against her face by the rain. She clutched her bow tightly, her eyes narrowing as she studied the cabin. "This place doesn't look safe," she muttered. Her voice was steady, but her cautious steps betrayed her unease. Beside her, Rex let out a booming laugh that almost matched the thunder. The muscular blacksmith wiped water from his beard, his hammer strapped proudly to his back. "Safe or not," he shouted over the storm, "a roof is a roof. Let's get inside." Without waiting for an answer, he stomped toward the door, his heavy boots splashing mud with every step. Milo stayed close to Iris, sniffing the air. His little nose twitched as he studied the strange wooden structure. He let out a low whine, ears drooping, clearly unconvinced this was a good idea. Kai hesitated, glancing at Luna. She remained silent, her sharp eyes scanning the cabin. She knew it was risky, but the storm left them no choice. Lightning lit up the clearing again, and in that flash, the cabin seemed to leer at them, its open doorway like a mouth waiting to swallow prey. Still, with Rex already pushing the door open, they had to follow. The wood groaned loudly as he shoved it inward, revealing the dark interior. The smell of damp wood and dust hit them immediately. Kai shivered. "I don't like this," he whispered. But Luna gave a short nod. Inside, quickly, and so, one by one, they stepped into the mysterious cabin, unaware of the surprises lurking in the shadows. The cabin's interior was worse than it looked outside. Dust floated in the air, illuminated by their torchlight. Wooden beams sagged overhead, and the floor creaked under their weight. The walls were lined with shelves, some collapsed, others barely standing. Then it happened. A sudden crash echoed through the cabin as a wooden plank fell from the ceiling. Luna gasped, her hands shooting up. Oh, what was that noise? Her usual calm composure cracked for just a second. Kai froze, his heart leaping into his throat. His torchlight shook as he spun around wildly. His voice trembled. Was that a ghost? The word echoed through the cabin, bouncing off the rotten walls until it sounded like an army of whispers. Behind them, Rex clenched his fists, his jaw tight. He tried to look brave, but the color had drained from his face. Iris, meanwhile, steadied her bow, scanning the shadows. Then Milo broke the tension. The little fox darted forward, tail wagging furiously. His eyes locked onto something scurrying across the floor, a tiny blocky mouse. With a bark, Milo gave chase, pouncing into the pile of fallen planks. The team blinked, realization dawning on them. All that fear for a mouse. Kai's face turned red. He cleared his throat awkwardly. I wasn't scared, just cautious. But his shaking knees told another story. The group burst into nervous laughter, the fear melting into relief. Yet the storm still howled outside, and the cabin creaked ominously around them. This adventure was far from over. When the laughter died down, the team noticed Milo again. He stood proudly in the center of the cabin, tail wagging, a tiny mouse clamped gently in his jaws. His eyes sparkled with pride as if he had just slain a mighty beast. Iris couldn't help herself. She burst into laughter, pointing at the fox. Turns out the real monster is Milo, she joked. Luna groaned, pressing a hand to her forehead. Kai tried to look serious but failed, his lips twitching into a smile. Rex roared with laughter, slapping his knee. The tension that had gripped them since the storm began finally broke. Milo strutted in a circle, the mouse dangling like a trophy. To him, this was victory. To the others, it was absurd, but in the best possible way. As the storm raged on outside, they settled down on the creaky wooden floor, leaning against the walls. The fear of monsters and ghosts no longer haunted them. Instead, they laughed, teased each other, and shared the warmth of friendship. Sometimes, adventure wasn't about treasure or danger. Sometimes, it was about the memories created in the strangest places, even in a collapsing cabin during a thunderstorm. And as they drifted into uneasy rest, one question lingered. Would you dare to stay in this cabin during a storm?